Welcome back to the North American LCS for our final game. 100 Thieves versus Golden Guardians. Time to kick things off by looking at the starting rosters. Selecting blue side, it's 100 whole Thieves. In the top lane, it's Someday. In the jungle, Meteos. Their mid laner, Ryu. Bot and support, Cody-san and Aphromoo, and Coach Crawley.
Where are the other 94? I don't know. But anyway, facing them on the red side, it's Golden Guardians. In the top lane, Lorlo. Junglers contracts with high and mid. Definitely bot with support Matt and Coach Tyler.
In the crowd, cheering them on, Zyrene. I found them all. As if the weeks before weren't enough, though, Golden Guardians have proven in their recent games that you can't sleep on this 8th place team.
Yeah, they're coming off the hardest possible week where they took on the top 2 teams in the league, and they almost went 2-0. They said their goal was to get better, and so far in the split, in the second round robin, they're 3-2. And if they had beaten Cloud9, they would be 4-1. So this team has been showing that improvement they talked about. Specifically, Deftly, Contracts, and Matt have taken control in their wins.
And if that wasn't enough of a reason for 100 Thieves to focus up, a win here for the new org means they lock a spot in playoffs.
Yeah, we talked about how Golden Guardians, they almost went 4-1, but 100 Thieves actually went 4-1 in the second half of the split so far. Off the back of Aphromoo, who's been looking unleashed. He's been playing unique champions that fit the situation, and he controls the games on these playmakers to enable his team, especially Cody-san, who's looked so good all split long.
Well, we'll see if the bot lane is bolted enough to take down the Guardians as they're in the hunt for that playoff spot. Draft has started, and 100 start off with the Kazakhstan. Jungler going to be answered by GGS as they actually take down the Skarner. I've seen a lot of trading today of Skarner and Olaf, but that game will not be played today.
Yep. One of them,
this game.
Yeah.
Right. Played a lot already.
That's true. That's true. But the Kazakhs is pretty much the constant, right? We're seeing it banned almost every game where people just really don't know how to play against it with the way that it's like you watched it from here with God Vision. And you're like, wait, the Kazakhs is just running through the jungle. It's like, no, actually, he is right on top of the team. They don't know it. They can't do anything about it. And it gives the information over to the other side.
Yep.
So it's very valuable.
The first time I saw Dardoch face check a brush with 2 people in it that had a control ward in it, I was like, okay, this champion's really good. As Rai is the next ban there from Golden Guardians. Olaf actually the ban by 100 Thieves, despite the Skarner getting taken away. So still afraid of what's been a pretty good pick so far in the NALCS.
Yeah, but you gotta think Meteos, he's been favoring Sejuani, Jax even, more so than these other picks. Can't always pull out the Zac from his back pocket, but Meteos has that deep champion pool.
Galio is the next ban as well, kind of taking some of that pressure out of High in the mid lane. And Sayo in the last ban has also seen a ton of bans today.
Yeah, really just don't want to have to deal with it. I like this from 100 Thieves. If they get Cody-san the Xayah, he is destroying so far in terms of most AD carry statistics. He's #1 in damage per minute at 733. He's 62 damage per minute ahead of the next person in the entire league. He's #1 in percent of his team's damage, but he's also #1 in percent of team's gold share. So they give him a lot of resources, but he delivers with it.
Well, certainly makes sense. Rakan, a great bot lane for 100 Thieves. Not going to get snatched up just yet. There's a Caitlyn and a Sejuani for contracts, so opting to kind of pick the Caitlyn, try and bully that Xayah, and just take Sejuani away from Meteos.
Yeah, the Sejuani can get the ultimate out of the Xayah really easily with her own ultimate, so it would be a little bit better here than Contracts, who went for, he went for the Volibear before, but I still really don't 100% agree with giving up the Rakan. But if you're blue and you first pick the Xayah because it's up, Rakan without Xayah is definitely less powerful than just Xayah without Rakan.
Yeah, Xayah maybe pretty serviceable on her own, I would say. Rakan not so much. So 100 Thieves play the draft smart. They get both. As Zac also going to join their first 3 picks. So like you said, been playing a lot of Sejuani, but is a legacy Zac player for Meteos, so decides to take that tank instead. So I'd say a pretty even trade on that front. Braum now to Matt, so very robust bot lane here for the Golden Guardians. Deftly and Matt have been having some better performances. We'll see if they can kind of also outperform what's been a surging bot lane from the 100 Thieves side.
Yeah, especially with Aphromoo looking unleashed. He's just been fantastic on the playmakers since they've gone 4-1 in the second half of the split on 100 Thieves. Aphromoo, he played Rakan, Alistar, Blitzcrank, Thresh, and Bard. So far, he's played those 5 unique champions, revisiting the Rakan here today because of the combo, but he's been picking for the situation, and it's been working very frequently for them.
Certainly has. I mean, Aphromoo, in the LCS at least, was the guy that really busted out Rakan. It was so good. You made a breakdown about it, actually,
yeah,
when Rakan kind of first entered the league. So certainly a lot of proficiency on that champion. Talia, though, the ban from Golden Guardians, seeing a surprising amount of attention today, at least in recent games, but pretty solid, strong champion, so I can kind of run with that. And Orianna actually going to take a comfort pick away from High.
Yeah, we're seeing a lot of kind of bans being thrown at the mid lane here. So far, there are 4 that have been thrown down, and I guess you can also kind of consider Sion a flex mid laner. We've seen him a decent amount in Academy. If you're still going there, Azir is another big one. Now it gets tricky. Cassiopeia, Corki are in that next kind of tier down. Wonder if they will go for another ban here on mid.
Yeah, kind of a weird spot as both teams are pinching the same lane and no one has picked a mid laner yet, as everyone matched for jungle plus bot lane in phase 1.
I feel like you don't ban a mid laner here because it just ends up helping. Yeah, go to the other side. Go ban out something in that top lane that could counter what you want to pick.
Well, Camille was the answer, as Lolo has shown kind of some propensity on more of the fighter-style champions. Again, we've talked a lot about the shifts in top lane meta, but not all the top laners are falling in line to playing tanks.
Yeah, but also keep in mind just side selection. If they don't pick their mid laner, or they don't pick their top laner here as Golden Guardians, they leave last pick for their top laner, and someday wouldn't be able to counterpick. When he had counterpicked the Camille with the Poppy earlier, so he wouldn't have that opportunity in Champion Select. So I like the Camille ban here, saying there isn't really much we could do if we picked our champion beforehand.
And I guess kind of a nice read on the 100 Thieves side as a result, because mid lane was the pick there out of phase 2 into this one. And mid-com will make another appearance. Cho'Gath top for Someday, very safe. So good solid front line now for 100 Thieves. And what does Ryu want into this 1v1?
I would imagine Corki is kind of Ryu's default here, unless he has something up his sleeve. Cassiopeia is the other one, but up against a Karma that can just speed herself up and root you and then have really good gank assistance, I would expect it to be more along the lines of the Corki, but hey! Okay. Cassiopeia still providing a lot of damage.
Fine.
Not as fun.
Cassiopeia for Ryu. I'm upset. Golden Guardians with one more pick.
Why do they do this to us? Like, we would have been fine if you didn't even hover it. It would have just been, oh, okay,
exactly.
Cassiopeia is what he goes for. Showing me the Aurelion Soul. Just Ryu's such a tease.
It's all mind games. Matt, what are you doing? All right, there we go. Misclicked. Tried to click Nara, apparently clicked Ash. There's the Nara, though, back for Lolo. So going to be trying to take the counter pick here in the 1v1 top side and bully Mr. Someday.
Yeah, the Cho'Gath, pretty neutral pick for him. He'll have a good time in that top lane. Wouldn't be a fantastic time. Of course, it does favor the Gnar. But looking at Golden Guardians, very skirmish heavy. A lot of bot lane pressure here. I'm surprised something like the GP didn't come through to further push down that bottom lane. And it would be really good against something like the Cassiopeia. So they decide not to have Lolo pick that up and be a little bit more split push and team fight oriented here.
Yeah, it does feel like, you know, 5v5 or 4-1 situation for Golden Guardians. Definitely has got a pretty big burden on his shoulders this game to just output so much damage. He's got 2 supports and a really solid tank in the Sejuani to sort of play for him. So definitely has certainly been playing a lot better in recent weeks. The second half of the split overall has been much better for Golden Guardians. I think definitely has been the recipient of a lot of that improvement. But we've seen Solo Caitlyn do some pretty nuts things today already.
Well, we've also seen Xayah and Rakan do some pretty nuts
things
they've
today. Won a lot of games, so we'll have to see how this one works out. 100 Thieves versus Golden Guardians, because 100 Thieves are in a hunt for that playoff spot. There are only 3 left. A win here will claim them the 4th one. Golden Guardians, though, looking to continue their success in the second half of the spring. A team that's been just surprising us ever since the half change. Curious to see what they can get done here.
I mean, almost taking down Cloud9 and beating Echo Fox. Almost having that 2-0 against the top 2 teams. Golden Guardians coming into this week, they have a lot of momentum, and my eyes are specifically on Contracts as well as Matt. Matt, in their first 2 wins, did some really cheeky stuff. The Shen over the wall to help them get a level 1 first blood, and then the next time they ended up going over the wall again, going for a lot of those bot lane flashes with some cheeky plays. I'm watching the level 1 here from Matt in the lane phase, but then from there, Contracts is kind of the guy I have my eyes on.
Well, Braum and level 1 usually goes well together. Matt right now is just kind of hanging out in bot lane. It's actually Cody that's first to that little brush, making sure 100 Thieves fan out and get some vision. Ryu stepping forward, looking for High, but hasn't found him just yet. Looks like everything is pretty calm here in the early stages as the teams file out. And just going to play it slow for the first minute. Someday just... Oh, he was dancing, but Lolo has interrupted his party.
It's always great for us because it looks calm to us, but on stage, these players are like, we don't know who's where. And like, even Deathly's like, I can't check around this corner as Caitlyn because what if they all walk up at the same time? It happened to Impact level 1 last game. Everybody's really alert at this point and trying to make sure nothing catches them off guard at the very start of the game.
Well, it looks like we'll just kind of consolidate to our jungle starts here. Both red starts, actually. Contracts on the top left of his map. Meteos here with Cody and Afro. Bottom lane's going to give a super-powered leash here with the Zyrakan early W action. No smite necessary. Contracts should be okay also with the permafrost. Did start Talisman, though, not Machetes, so perhaps to the Raptors now. See, I've learned.
Hey.
I've had enough games of the 20 to know how this works now.
Yeah, I think I talked about it before, where Fleet Footwork was kind of the thing you run on Sejuani before. But with the changes to the tree in the Resolve tree, people really like bone plating. Unflinching is super good for junglers because you're constantly using a summoner spell in your smite offensively. So really just going all the way down the Resolve tree and getting some extra attack speed. Because now you split Precision and Resolve the bonuses, and then you take Legend Alacrity with your Precision second. So you have a lot of attack speed. You just end up going for the Talisman instead so that you can just clear all your camps and be healthy.
Well, Contract's looking good. As Meteos also just kind of chilling through his jungle. Looks like it's going to be almost a full clear for both. I think the Krugs are up on the 100 Thieves side. Just a little hard to see.
Yeah, this is kind of the worst camp in the game, in my opinion. It's out of your way. Nobody really likes to do it.
Feels bad, man.
Yeah.
Krugs.
They
Old. Pugsy loves who's Irene.
No, they don't.
All right. Contracts takes down the Scuttle Crab.
They live that Krug life. It's a lonely life.
I guess that's what they get. As Sejuani is going to just soft invade here, looking for, I think, vision more than anything else. Contracts.
He'll go for the Krugs. He'll give them some love.
All right, well.
But he's spotted.
Good ward from 100 Thieves on the bot side. Matt actually already up here. It's like, all right, I will protect you, sir. Contract says thank you. And probably just to trade as Meteos is already off to that side as well.
Yeah, because it's the camp that people pretty much don't take in their first jungle route on their own
It's the
side.
best one to steal.
It's the best one to go for because you're like, this is always up, 100%. And so, yeah, they just trade it so out of the way.
Now I'm ready for like some really like Galaxy Brain level like start Krugs camp for jungle. You're just going to bamboozle the crap out of them. It's probably not good, but at least you'll surprise them as Meteos takes his camp down nice and easily. Someday with the early push pressure makes that even safer.
Only time I think it's actually good is if you're playing Rek'Sai, you start red side, you go red, you can clear your Raptors easily, go and then finish off the Krugs. That's 3 camps, get you level 3, you back, buy, and then you're out on the map. But look at this.
Oh, what a knocker from Meteos! First blood!
He didn't even get a chance to flash.
I barely got a chance to cast it.
I know, I'm sorry about that one. That was me.
Totally fine. Meteos there. We saw his career win rate on Zach. It's something. I think he has 3 losses.
It was like 14-3.
Yeah, pretty
Ridiculous.
good. And this is kind of why.
Superstar jungler coming in, silenced.
Whee.
Can't flash during the silence, and he gets knocked up immediately after. So Meteos flies right in. That is the 2nd rank of the E. So it's not even that long of a distance, but it's still Fog of War, and it's enough to jump on Lorlo.
Certainly was enough to take down the Gnar. Lorlo will TP back to the lane and hold onto his flash for potential additional attempts.
And remember, this is the counter pick that Golden Guardian set up. They picked this Gnar into the Cho'Gath, and he has 15 CS up right now on Someday's side of it, and Someday is just looking like a monster so far after that gank.
Yeah, Cho'Gath is one of those champions where you're like, he's not going to do anything, it's just a tank, and then he kills you.
Well, it's like you can't do anything to him, and so he actually does almost nothing to you, but it's almost nothing, not nothing. And so nothing against almost nothing just slowly chips you out of lane and ends up getting you an advantage.
I can follow that. That makes sense to me as Lolo can a last hit under the turret, has returned with a Doran's shield.
Yeah, it's not exactly what you want. TP from Someday. He's trying to make a play onto high here.
Very sneaky, but maybe too sneaky.
But it's weird, too, because High should be playing to that top left side because Zach is on the bottom side and Sejuani is there too. So it could be like a 3-man. That's so interesting how that ended up panning out.
Kind of when you think too many levels ahead and maybe he needs to go down a couple. Someday, I mean, I like the attempt. I think really smart stuff from Someday, but High, you know, playing safe, maybe feeling some of the pressure. Ryu did get a nice trade-off, and High just goes back, gets a tier, and kind of walk himself back to mid lane. In fact, uses the TP that he is taking in this matchup. Miasma out from Ryu. Ulti actually used. He's going to just try and get some trade damage down High. That was tough stuff.
Yeah.
The TP's back to lane and almost dies.
I believe he hit level 6 as the TP was coming through, and so you get that presence of mind. People are taking that as that rune from the precision tree. It's why we see it secondary and mid. So TP comes through. He's like, okay, I guess I'll just throw out this ultimate. I'll throw out a ton of damage. So the presence of mind is all about just throwing and dumping as much mana as you can.
And given that Cassio is primarily mana gated and not cooldown gated, makes a lot of sense. So
Exactly.
Ryu kind of using the best of his cooldowns there and forcing High, at least to take some damage, not back just yet, as Ryu also wants to go back and spend his gold, get his tier stacking up sooner rather than later. Contracts, though, down here on the bottom side as junglers are trading scuttles. Meteos, thanks to that first blood, actually already level 6.
Yeah, so he'll have that less bounce, and he's going towards the top side again. Once again, Lorlo, he's stabilized a bit in this matchup. This is interesting, though, because it would just be jungler versus jungler. Contract sees the ward.
Yep, now knows that something's up. Gonna see the red buff he pulled away, and Contract says, I don't think so.
Yeah. His lanes don't have priority on Meteos' side, so he does have to back up. If you end up still going for that, you get clapped on first. And that's one of those games where you just type, where's my team? And you weren't watching the minimap yourself.
Not there is the answer to that question, by the way.
Exactly. You had to make sure that your lanes are winning or closer. They'd be able to reinforce you faster. So Meteos, he does get the information of where Contracts is. But Contracts is very close to level 6 here. It might just go across the map. Yeah, he's going to cut through mid, and I think they might go for the enemy red.
He's like, give me this cannon. I need some XP.
Give me level 6. There, boom.
He hits it.
Yeah, they're going for this invade here.
All right, so we're going to look for something here on the cross-map red, like you mentioned. Matt and Contracts teaming up. Pretty potent.
Yeah, it's because Ryu backed, so they have the Karma that would reinforce them, but it still looks like High is just clearing that mid-wave. It resets, and now Ryu is here. So time is out. It's a 3-on-3.
It's a little bit spooky, but it looks at things. No, Contract's going to leap in, find Afro. Here's Meteos, but doesn't complete the stretching strike.
Here comes the Caitlyn, so it would be a reinforcement from Golden Guardians faster.
No TPs either, so first of the player, Golden Guardian's going to try and force down this red. Meteos charging it back up. He goes in. The red buff goes over to GG's. But there's actually a flip back in. Looks like too much damage. Contract's actually pulled him to the front side. Now Cody's here. Just collects a kill over the wall. Golden Guardian's a little too aggressive there.
Yeah, guess Cody's got to keep that high kill participation, right? Gets him that kill, but that was one where it took so long for Golden Guardians to actually just pull the trigger on that. Ryu shows up, and then Meteos does a fantastic job. He says, screw this, I'm not a part of this. Goes over the wall here, and this is where he charges in Fog of War to try and get as many people as possible. Jumps in, gets Contracts, channels the ulti, the stun comes through, and so there's no way the Contracts gets out of that, and they just pull him back. He's like, all right, you got the red buff, we got the red buff.
Well, super nice ulti there from Ryu. Again, looking good here on the Cassio, and with the Catalyst now completed, and well, not really a big CS lead, but certainly a pressure lead here. Red buff probably helping out. See if High can, again, keep things up and just retain some pressure. Ideally, he's just shoving these waves and walking away, but Ryu certainly first to a lot of these waves, forcing High to see it under the turret for now.
And it looks like a different build from High as well. I don't remember Jensen buying the tier. I remember him going for the Luden's Echo. So this Karma is actually going to be focusing more on the Seraph's Embrace build from the Archangel Staff to have that CDR as opposed to the wave clear of the Ludens.
It is tough to fault mid laners for taking Archangels at this juncture.
They're so good. Both those items are incredibly good.
But certainly a divergence. See what else High kind of plans on building. Ryu, of course, doing what's expected. This build was good before in Cassio. It's even better now that they got buffed. So Ryu playing with that pressure. Got the blue, has double buffs now. High also with his blue, so likely able to match in wave clear at least a little. But those first 3 kills for 100 Thieves. Meteos just set things up so well on this Zac.
Yeah.
Now trying something again here in mid.
Does have the level 7, so long range.
All right, gets one, looks for a minion back, does get a mini root. Great miasma from Ryu, but no follow-up.
Yeah, and they say, all right, we can only spend a few seconds there. They see contracts with that ward, and that's why they back off. They don't want to have that 2-on-2.
Things still kind of chill at this juncture of the game. Definitely and Matt have done pretty well, actually. Haven't seen too much of this bot lane, but a CS lead for Caitlyn is nice. Carl also here for Deathly, so kind of realizing that this lane's not going to have too much pressure applied to it. Looks like junglers aren't really interested in coming down too often, as Hai and Ryu, again, doing battle, but Ryu winning these trades pretty handily. Yeah,
pick the Cassiopeia into it, and he's actually having a really good time here. The phase rush helps him a lot against the Karma. In this bottom lane, so far, not much has happened, but Afromoon gonna take it in his own hands.
Yeah, there's the recombo. Gets two with the knock-up. The damage already landing onto Deathly. Cody is gonna keep charging forward. Glacial Fissure dodged, I believe, by Cody, as Deathly just goes down. Now the chase is on Meteor. Long-range slingshot's gonna try and find Matt. Gets the root down. The damage still there. An additional root there as the feathers pull through. 100 Thieves almost get two there.
Yeah, that was sick from Cody Sun. Cody Sun uses his ultimate to dodge Matt, but at the same time, deftly, he ends up using the Caitlyn net the wrong way, and so he's dead to rights right after that.
Tough stuff, and the turret goal's not going to make it any easier. Cody Sun continuing to stockpile advantages.
Yeah, this was the lane that they drafted the Caitlyn for and to try and have some pressure, but it just got completely reversed by that play from Afromoon. We saw just the damage there that comes out from the Xayah Rakan. This is why people are trying to separate these lovers, to try to separate this bottom lane. But this was great. The shield doesn't come up in time on the other side of him, and definitely nets the wrong way. But still, Cody Sun outplays there with his own ultimate. So even if that hadn't have gone in kind of a bad way and a fumble there for Cody Sun, I still think, or for Deathly, I still think he's dead because Cody Sun's dodge, and they both would have just blown flashes.
Yeah, I have to think so as well. So well played by Cody and Afro, continuing a streak of recent success we saw earlier. We mentioned it at the top of this game. 100 Thieves will lock playoffs with a win. Unfortunately for Golden Guardians, they will be eliminated from playoff contention here with a loss. So even though the team has done very well to kind of pick things back up, we'll only be playing for pride in the back half of the spring if they cannot find a win here. So pretty high tension game for these two teams.
Well, pride and also improvement for Golden Guardians, because the team, a lot of criticism about the ability or the skill level. Hold on high, though.
Good flash. Medios will just come back for that one in a second.
I feel like Medios says something personal against High. Something must have happened back in the Cloud9 days. I think it's over blue buff. It's always over blue buff for Medios. It's like High wanted the second blue buff. Nope.
I feel that.
Oh, wait, no, I know what it was. It was Locket. Who builds Locket? It was like, is it the jungler's job? Is it the support's job?
Oh, well, some things never die. Medios, I mean, applying the right pressure, I think, all jokes aside, but certainly has been all over Golden Guardians, especially in the top and mid lane. And again, this pressure is continuing to cascade.
No.
Somebody's like, hello, oh, actually wants Contract's dead. Contract's like, what do I do? Guys, silence, Lolo in, but Blastcone's over. The long, slow way around, but I think it might just be enough. A flash out from Someday. Now going to run back into Contract. Afro is here. They finish off the Rift Herald, but Someday goes down. Collapse from GG's does net them a kill.
Yeah, they end up having everybody up there. Matt is up there, and in the meantime, Cody Sun clears multiple waves, pushes it to the tier 2 turret, and the Rift Herald goes over to 100 Thieves.
It's a head scratcher in some ways.
I mean, he was starting it, and then Someday shows up.
I saw what was happening.
It was like, okay, I got to threaten him instead of keep doing the Rift Herald, but they just show up. Now 100 Thieves onto that mid turret.
Usually we see the bot lane party. Bot lane to outer tower is already dead, so instead it's a Rift Herald party.
And now a Rift Herald would kill this turret, so if Medios wants to throw it down later in the future, it would be a quick take.
Medios strikes me as the kind of man that will hold on to his empowered recall. Maybe a longer time.
I do miss holding on to the empowered recall of the old Rift Herald buff. The one that made you move around a little bit faster on the map. That one was nice.
Well, Medios, we'll see how long he does hold on to it for, but certainly simple use should give 100 Thieves yet another turret here in this game.
Well, right now, 100 Thieves, they have tempo. They get to the top lane earlier. There's nobody answering that is ranged and would be able to clear the wave, so this might just be the turret going over.
Yep, no one here to answer. It's just Lolo, and the rest of Golden Guardians are on the bottom half of the map. So Cody and Afro continuing their success here in this game. Get the wins down the bot side, take the turret, make it 2. Cody Sun claims even more gold for himself, getting so strong in such a short period of time. Going back now with 1,600 more gold to spend.
see what he ends up picking up. Zeal, I would assume. Okay, Zeal, some daggers, going for an attack speed item afterwards. Of course, after that, he'll go for the Infinity Edge. It's really good on Xayah because you think about what a Zeal gives you. It gives you crit, gives you movement speed, and it gives you attack speed. And the Xayah W already gives you attack speed, and it gives you movement speed. And so if you just buy IE, you have more attack damage, and you have crit, which you would have had anyway. So going for another BF sword item as your third item makes a lot of sense on Xayah.
Definitely does, as Meteos does look for something, but not quite able to find contracts. Definitely trying to reverse this wave as much as he can, but we talk about the general Caitlyn problem of being slow to ramp up once her kind of dominant lane phase is over. Definitely still ahead in CS, at least for now. Cody could correct that in a short moment, but definitely has only just finished his Infinity Edge, and now the kind of slow, where do I get farm game kind of starts for him.
Yeah, and if you end up with waves that you shouldn't actually be farming, you get caught out. Things like the Rakan will come out and end up CCing you, and that's really what you have to watch out for when you're trying to pick up farm on side lanes, because it's Caitlyn by herself on top. You have to have top control, and Meteos actually does get the ultimate, or if not the ultimate, the Rift Herald off.
That was a really nice attempt from Contract. I believe he saw the channel in fog and just threw the ult trying to interrupt it, but...
Yeah, he threw it, but it was soaked by Afro.
Yep. So good play on both sides. Afro able to block that off, and they take the outer turret with Shelly as a result. Assault continues. They might even get two. Golden Guardians a little slow to respond. They don't have Deathly. Afro are going to threaten Contracts. He's forced to Arctic Assault away. And just like that, that's two turrets for 100 Thieves in the mid lane.
Yeah, they just get two very quickly. So that Rift Herald means a lot. It was one that was started up by Contracts, but now it's just completely crushed the mid lane, and that will give so much pressure to 100 Thieves to get these tier 2s on the outer sides.
Well, it looks like, again, the gold lead just starting to get a little out of hand here for 100 Thieves, up 6,000 or so. Another Drake on the way. They got the first Ocean Infernal up in a minute 40 for them to grab. Rapid Fire Cannon now done for Cody. Already kind of completed that first Zeal item, and two items also for Ryu, stacking up the tier component of that Archangel's, trying to turn it into Seraphs.
We saw about like 20 plus minutes is when it came in before. Right now, Ryu, he's at 530 in bonus mana. And then High is actually at 704, so High is very close to actually converting his over.
Yep, got his tier earlier, I think, might have been the reason why. Not exactly remember, but we'll worry about it at another date. Instead, this is what Golden Guardians have to worry about. The strength of this bot lane. Cody and Afromu is continuing to apply pressure in that top lane and threaten yet another turret.
Yeah, you're right. He did get the tier earlier. It was when he TP'd back level 5 and then got chunked out because of the Cassio. So
it was all worth it. He's going to get the Archangels first.
There it is. Comes through.
Definitely is like, and this is kind of what you were saying. I mean, this is the problem for Deathly. He pushes all the way down this long lane. He sees the Cho'Gath and he's like, well, I can't see anybody else. I just cannot sit here and farm these waves until they come back to me. So there's a huge amount of time that Deathly has to kind of waste just walking back and forth between waves, trying to get this farm. It will take him quite a while to outpace Cody, who's been involved in almost every kill, sitting with 3 himself so far.
Exactly. And Cody right now, he's up about 1,600 gold over Deathly. And that's that rapid fire cannon completion and then some. So we're looking at about a half item advantage already for Cody-san, who loves to play for that late game. But 100 Thieves, remember, a lot of their wins during the early part of the split was off of late game, kind of turning it around. They didn't have kind of even games, right? And then they hit this streak where they lost 4 games in a row right before the first half was over. And that was off of, they were just getting crushed early. Now in this second half of the split, they found Afromu on playmakers, holding the trigger in lane, holding the trigger on fights is really what has been netting them early game leads and then converting.
And I think this game, again, we're talking about junglers really show presence. Meteos had a ton of early activity in this game to kind of get things going on the top half, and then Afromu took care of that bot lane as he almost always does. This is a hyper-accelerated game for 100 Thieves. We have 5 turrets to 1, excuse me, Lolo took 1, and they did grab that Infernal Drake as well. So just all the advantages piling against the Golden Guardians right now.
And I feel like what's going to happen next is 100 Thieves will look for Baron control. They have a Cho'Gath. They're very close to that Cho'Gath having Banner of Command, and then they're looking to try and make that happen. They have a Fed 80 carry. You can go ahead and set this up. If you get vision control, you can look for some picks, but I feel like at that point, you can potentially just rush the Baron and play around that objective.
And all these things kind of point to signs of a team that have learned pretty quickly how to close out games when they have a lead. They built this lead. They're looking to just completely bust open, really end the game with an early Baron potentially.
Yeah, but you think about all these veterans on this team of 100 Thieves, where everybody has different ways that they really want to close the game, and especially people who are shot callers, Aframu, Meteos, etc. Even Ryu has the way that he wants to play the game from the mid lane and what he wants to do with resources. So 100 Thieves, the challenge was trying to figure that out. Frawley had an interview with Travis Gafford where he talked about, hey, everything was kind of up in the air. We didn't know exactly how we wanted to play the game, and getting everybody aligned was very important for them. And it seems like Aframu is kind of the person still leading that charge, with everybody else kind of following behind now.
Well, it's clearly been working out well for them. 100 Thieves continuing to find success here and looking to just push their lead even further forward, try and close this game out. Golden Guardians going to look to defend, but Caitlyn needs a little bit more, or a lot more actually. They're going to hold on. Definitely now with 2 items, so Static Shiv will at least make the farming side of things easier. It's just kind of a matter of, we don't have any vision control. How do we possibly contest for this Baron? Oh, this is how.
Well, definitely went back, so now they're going to TP Someday in. He's got the Feast. They say this isn't a 50-50.
Contract goes in, he's going to try and steal it, but he's going to get knocked up. There's the Feast down from Someday. Contract goes down as well. Someday grabs the double.
Yep, you just got to force it down. They end up getting that kill, and they end up getting that Baron on top of it. So yeah, a double, with the Baron being one of them.
Yeah, you got 2. Got Contract and the Baron. Exactly what you want as a Cho'Gath. As Lolo will split push down yet another turret. He's got a good CS lead here versus Someday, but Someday has a Baron and a banner.
Exactly, he has that banner now. Oh, it gets so low. It gets down to about 100. Looked like Someday didn't end up eating any of the CC there, and that would have been key. Because then it really does become a bit up in the air. It looks like Someday ate kind of the residual of the Glacial Fissure as opposed to the main knock-up in the middle. It looks like actually he did not get knocked up at all, so just barely missing him.
What's the reverse of a mullet haircut? Because that's what it is. That's the Sejuani. It's business in the front. All front loaded. Then the back is like, whatever.
I was like, is it a buzz down the center?
That's a question we'll have to answer perhaps another day, as Someday does flash away from the setup there by Golden Guardians. Again, I mean, just hiding in brushes, trying to find a pick, delaying this Baron push for as long as they can, but Someday still trying to find a minion to Baron up, and Ryu's already gotten the minion wave push towards this mid turret.
The banner was used.
Yep, he'll be fine. He'll find that cannon.
Yep, it's coming down in that bottom side.
I wish it made some sort of like charging sound. You know that image of the guy in the tank with holding his sword out? Always like, let me get them closer and hit them with my sword. That's what I feel like the Baron cannon thinks about when it's approaching the turret.
Oh, it got blocked by Braum. Hey!
And that's like, okay, I can't do that for much longer as the turret falls down. Baron cannon claiming many a structure today.
Freak. Teacher Freak teaching the crowd.
I think the crowd can go above 8 though, let's be honest.
How many licks it takes to get to the center of an inhibitor? Apparently 5.
All right, well, I'm glad we're learning things today, but inhibitor down there on the bot side for Golden Guardians, and 100 Thieves are not done. They've still got a lot left. Aframu straight in with a combo. Rupture follows up the 3-man knockup. Meteor tries to make it yet another, but Ryu just takes down deftly. Matt is already dead as the Golden Guardians bot lane disintegrates after that.
And they might push for the win here. 100 Thieves, this would be a super fast game.
Gonna go straight forward here. 100 Thieves gonna try and really up that closing speed. Cody's son unstoppable, and deservedly so, as Contrast gets taken down by Someday's Feast. Inhibitor falls in mid-side. 100 Thieves gonna go straight forward into playoffs.
Another disgusting game from 100 Thieves. This is taking care of business here from all of them.
You thought the Baron was just gonna slowly end the game. Afro says, I don't think so. Into the fountain we go. Meteos is tanking the laser. Someday's trying to get the structures down. 100 Thieves, an early celebration, but one deserved nonetheless, as Deftly does take down Meteos, but the next is exposed. The TPs will come in, and 100 Thieves, congratulations, you are now in playoffs.
And very deservedly so. Right now, 5-1 in the second half of the split. They have just been crushing it. They beat Cloud9, they beat TSM, and really, they just have to worry about Clutch and Fox in terms of those top of the team standings. But they've locked in that playoff spot, and now they're focusing on what they're gonna look like in that postseason.
Deserved and decisive from 100 Thieves. That game ended in under 25 minutes. Thanks to a quick initiation by Aframu, who just said, you know what? This gold lead's so massive, we're pretty sure we can end the game here.
And that was an issue for 100 Thieves before. They'd get behind, they'd try some things out, weren't completely set up in terms of the shot calling. Now they look very clean. The criticisms that we had of 100 Thieves early on, where they didn't really look completely like contenders for #1, they've all been kind of silenced now.
And again, Afro was kind of the guy we expected to rally the team, and he has done so, but I cannot pour more praise for Cody Sun, who's just looked so good. But we are going to send it over to Overly and the Green Menace in the jungle for 100 Thieves.
Thanks, guys. Meteos, congratulations. With this victory, 100 Thieves has been locked in for playoffs. How does it feel knowing that you guys have secured a space?
It definitely feels good. I wasn't super worried about not making it because we only needed to win like one out of our next 4. And if we lost them all, that'd probably be a problem in itself. But definitely takes a little bit of weight off our shoulders knowing we're in playoffs, so I'm pretty happy about it.
What were your thoughts coming into this match? Because the last time you faced Golden Guardians, they were able to pick up their first win against you.
Yeah, I don't think we were playing too well back then, but we definitely have been doing better lately, and I was just hoping we could do all the stuff we practiced, and I thought we played a really good game today.
Well, congratulations. You beat them on that. Looking forward, now that you've secured your spot, what's next for 100 Thieves?
Well, I think next we're just going to try to keep improving as we've been, try to win more games. If we win all of our games, I don't know if there's a way for us to get first or second seed, but if we can, that'd be really cool.
I think we'd have to check the math on that, but congratulations again on the win. And to wrap up the day, let's hear from the State Farm Analyst Desk.
Thank you very much, Avli. I feel like given the way games in the LCS has been going, this whole split, anything's possible, Meteos. I mean, you could very much be first by the end of week 9. But 100 Thieves picking up a win, moving to 9-6, moving Golden Guardians out of playoff contention at 4-11. This was a decisive victory for this squad. Made it look pretty easy. Very easy.
There was a period where I think, they had one death on all sides for Golden Guardians, so it was clear that everybody was doing good things across the map. It's one of those ones where it's hard to point out one player, you're like, that guy won them the game.
All right, but if we dive into it, I mean, looking at 100 Thieves, only one loss so far this split, put a very solid victory on the board here against one of their weaker opponents with their remaining weeks.
And some questionable positions by Golden Guardians here. If you're going to pick a fight in corridors, you might not want to do it against Zach, Cassiopeia, Zaya Rakan, as Cody Sun can contribute from over the side of the wall. That invade is just not going to go well for Golden Guardians, and that gives them the lost momentum into kill them.
Yeah, when you're playing the Caitlyn lane, you can't afford to have things like that go wrong. Once they go wrong, they continue to go wrong versus Zaya Rakan. They pick fights, they find these kills. They'll eventually break the bot lane turret first, I believe. And this was after Meteos had already turned a gank up in the top lane as well. So everything was going wrong across the board. There was a small stumble there in the mid game when Someday kind of died randomly when they were trying to contest the Rift Herald. But hey, they still got the Rift Herald and eventually helped them take the mid turret.
Equivalent damage out of both the AD carry and the mid laner. Love to see that synergy. Cody Sun continuing to perform here. As an individual at the top of the day, we had him on this tier list in the top 3. And once again, he hits a ridiculous kill percentage.
Yeah, 90% kill participation
But his
again.
damage per share probably went down there.
That's
True, actually.
I mean, look, when you got stats like that, I mean, essentially anything
You'll
less
go
than
down.
a perfect game is going to damage your stats, which is the crazy point.
I was hoping they would let everyone respawn just so he could auto-attack
Just kill everyone
on
again.
Fatten to get like more DPM for his insane
Yeah, it's just
stats.
while somebody's there regenning.
Yeah,
just
they
getting
didn't
free
though,
hits.
so kept his kill participation up. I mean, it's weird. Mark is kind of talking about this. He's like, yes, Cody Sun looked great. What did he really do that game?
It's like, what did he have to dodge out perfectly? When did he like out micro somebody? And when was it like, oh, there, Afro goes in bot lane getting a double knock up and he follows up perfectly. But
Right.
it's
Off of a bad invade.
It's
from
so
Golden
hard to
Guardians.
judge it, you know?
Here's what's clear to me though, is what I used to call Cody Suns, which was like they're winning the game and then randomly he will die when he shouldn't, have kind of disappeared.
Okay.
So at this point he's just solid, right?
Yep.
He is always in high health in lane, even if he's giving up some pressure for it. Therefore, he's always around to capitalize on the play. and he has very good team fight positioning. Whether that's from him or the rest of the team distracting a lot and initiating super well is kind of irrelevant as far as the team is concerned because he's doing exactly what they need him to do.
Now, after today's matches, let's go ahead and take a look at who's still in the hunt for playoffs. There are only 2 playoff spots up for grabs, but unfortunately, FlyQuest, Golden Guardians, and Optic Gaming can no longer make it to the postseason. That means the remaining 2 spots will be fought over by Team Liquid, TSM, and Counter Logic Gaming. So given that, given the results of today's games and Meteos, for example, saying, hey, we'd love to win out and see where that puts us. I mean, what's your guys' feelings on the way the postseason picture is shaking up, especially given that we had you fill out those brackets at the top of the day, and I know to some degree those are probably already in shambles.
Yeah, well, here's the thing is I was expecting a lot of these teams to all be between 11-7 and 10-8, and there's so much variance there. The thought, though, may be if COG is going to catch someone, I'm wondering if it's going to be Team Liquid. Only because they looked pretty shaky in that game against TSM and now have exactly the same record as them. So maybe they're the new front runner for 6th seed and clutch his way up there.
And again, isn't that crazy given all the offseason moves and the way people were coming in talking about this Team Liquid roster, the way they smashed through that first game of the season against TSM? I mean, this is a star-studded roster that you expect to be cleanly into playoffs, not sneaking into playoffs.
I mean, they started number 1, then they dropped to number 2 or 3, then they dropped now to 5 or 6.
Tied for 5.
Yeah,
You skipped a number there.
What?
You skipped a number. What number did you
to 5
skip,
and 6.
Marks?
Yeah, I skipped 4.
It's a number you're very familiar with.
You didn't even
I'm
realize
not
that.
that familiar. We did not finish 4th that much, James.
Yeah. I didn't even realize it. That's amazing. They're tied for 4th right now.
Did that sting a little bit? All right,
No,
let's look
not
at
for me.
let's look at predictions for the day. We had the audience, of course, pick against you guys.
This doesn't sting either.
Didn't do quite as well. Mark, though, with the 5-0 on the day to tie it up, 45-30 across the board for both of you with 3 days of games left to play. How you feeling?
My boys at Clutch coming in big for
That's
me.
right.
I appreciate it. Ties me up with Jat.
You're picking clutch from here on out, right?
No.
I also want to point out that if it wasn't for Joel, the audience would have been 1-4.
Yeah, he overrode the
He
FlyQuest
overruled
person.
FlyQuest.
Yeah.
And gave them the extra point.
They're
to get
1-4 in
2
my book.
And 3. That unfortunately means that we have yet to find something to beat the 2 of you. The audience has tied you, but I have not found an animate or inanimate object yet that has surpassed.
You know what? Deficio has a better record at predicting the games over in EU by like 1 or 2 percentage points over
Well,
us.
if we're at 45-30 now,
Oh,
that
maybe
puts
we
us
went
at
up
a
enough.
good percentage. Yeah,
We'll have to
because
check
of
the
today.
5-0 is a pretty solid day. 4-1 as well. I mean, you guys are. It looks good, but I'm going to have to do some thinking on how I can get back at you. We'll see who can continue their quest for a playoff spot with our games tomorrow. The day starts with Equifox looking to claim a first-round bye versus Counter Logic Gaming. Then in Game 3, Clutch and Team Liquid face-off, followed by TSM versus Cloud9. So again, a couple big, very big matchups tomorrow. I mean, in particular, you're looking at TSM trying to continue their run. For example, Team Liquid against Clutch trying to hold on. Where do you guys see, some of the make or breaks here tomorrow?
Equifox versus COG is technically a make or break.
I mean, they lost the first time around, man.
Both those teams are now 3-3 in the second half of the split, if you can believe it.
4 games with playoff implications. There's only one between FlyQuest and Golden Guardians, I think it was, that doesn't have it. So, it's going to be a big day tomorrow as we close the season out.
All right, then I'm going to give you guys some time to go home, rest up, because we got
Time
a lot
change.
of work to do tomorrow. Time change, don't forget about that. Now for myself, the cast, and the entire live broadcast crew, thank you for watching, and we'll see you tomorrow for more of the NALCS.
10:30 a.m.
Oh my god, Mark said we would win. Really? I'm not even shitting you. Oh my god. Guys, this is the time. This is it. We got to do it for Mark.
Ah, we're trapped in here! They won't let us out of the box! Help!
Okay, hi, I'm David Freak, clearly.
Replacement caster. Decent damage to the start as he dodges away from the queue. Actually good damage. Can he land some more spells? He's down to half HP. Fabivin gets hit up one more time, flashes in, but he can't do the damage. Wild Turtle, the one more shot will do him in. That's the kill. Stixay in the bot lane.
He goes in, the red buff goes over to GG's. There's actually a flip back in. Looks like too much damage. Contract's actually pulled to the front side. Now Cody's here. He needs to secure a kill. He flashes in. He wants away. The red buff's ticking down. Not enough. Sven flash order. He is gonna grab it.
Saying I want to do blank, and then Vincent will update the plan, okay?
Vincent, I want a base. Vincent, I would like to take a drink of water. Vincent, I want to farm this creep.
Prince Garen versus the power of cash.
Wait, what? It's Jens. This is that guy.
Wait, there's no history.
What do you mean? You lost to him in groups.
What?
Oh! Yeah. Going.
Nice.
jump.
Okay, today.
Turn No ulti. I'm about to go. Here.
Ulting.
Go. I'm peeling to the gate. Nice.
C9 again, gonna punch it forward, Spence Garen, popping some move space. Smoothie again with a two-man knockup. Ultimate moving in, there a Sneaky take down the Ort. Arrow eats the first part of the ulti room. Gameplay, but legendary for Sneaky is Power People just standing in the wrong spot. The three-man knockup. Meteor tries to make it yet another day. He's gonna go straight into playoffs. Doublet forced to lash out, but he's still tagged by Brawl. Ragnarok, Mike Young just gonna slaughter him. TSM take down Liquid in the rematch.
Why? Low on health. Nixay's gonna get the snipe.
CLG are going to look to continue this miracle run to try to make the playoffs.
He will be shut down to the very end of it all. A few more shots. The cannon minion can do it. The flash hook, the ace. And yes, Clutch will complete the upset.
Marx is the savior. Marxy!
Let's go.